Hello, Aquarius. Your ruling planet of Saturn goes retrograde in Sagittarius on the 14th. That's one day before the Ides of March on the 15th. That's going to be an important day for you. Also, your other ruling planet of Uranus is currently in Aries, in the sign of Aries. Now, let's see how these two ruling planets of Saturn and Uranus affect you this month, Aquarius. I'm Pastor Rosemary. Thank you for joining us. Okay, this is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Aquarius angel Cambriel, who resides over your fixed air nature, and these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, a love transmission. There is a lot going on this month that's going to affect people's emotions, and as we all know, emotions, of course, they affect the personal life, but they affect world markets, politics, and obviously they can even affect your health. So let's get into this and see how some of these very strong aspects are going to affect you. Now, we're not saying it's bad news. There's a lot of good news, but we want to understand there's a lot of energy. So we want to manage and handle this energy. Not necessarily control it, but manage it well. There's also a very good aspect that's going to occur on the 25th of March, where the Sun is trine Saturn. And that brings the ability for you to experience a lot of success with being popular, and also a lot of success in your financial life. And it can bring you vibrant, radiant health. Again, as long as you don't let these things overwhelm you, because you could get overwhelmed this month, Aquarius, okay? So the Sun, again, trine Saturn on the 25th. But first, for this, the emotions that are going to be flying around. All right, with Uranus in Aries currently, your philosophies are going to tend towards the martial. You're going to lean Geburic. In other words, they're going to tend to want to go to war over things that you feel are important philosophically. You may even go to war with yourself a little bit, because what you think is practical and what you think philosophically is true might not always line up exactly. Okay? Now, with Saturn going retrograde in Sagittarius on the 14th, that means that your desire to be someone who wants to be generous was going to back up a little bit. You're going to feel a little bit of a pinch of penny pinching. You're going to feel like you've got to kind of tighten the belt a little bit when it comes to what you're able and willing to give people who seem to want to just take and take and take. There's a limit to your generosity, and you're going to find the limits of your generosity when your ruling planet of Saturn goes retrograde on the 14th, the day before the Ides of March on the 15th, when subordinates want to usurp over those who are the rulers. And you're going to feel that. You're going to feel it in the parts of your life where you're subordinate. You're going to want to become the usurper. And in the parts where you're already a ruler, you're going to want to keep those who want to lord it over you down. You're going to want to push them down. So understand, these are going to have different expressions in different parts of your life. Just be very aware of it. It's a very complicated month for you, Aquarius. Okay? It's a complicated month. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter and Saturn have very different, not difficult, but different aspects. Whereas Jupiter is very generous, Saturn is very law-abiding and making of strict law and rules. So the generosity is going to be, put on, the law is going to be put on the generosity, but when Saturn goes retrograde, then old laws are going to cause past skirmishes and past battles already fought to kind of come back. You're going to have to sort of rehash old battles that were fought. That's what's going to happen. So when it comes to love, old battles are coming back up. Now, what's going to happen is on the 5th, there is a full moon in Virgo, which is going to make people very analytical. Especially people with their Mercury in Virgo and Gemini, people are going to get very analytical and try to figure you out. And you're an air sign, fixed air, so it might be, you might feel that your computer is going to short circuit, especially when somebody inserts a Mobius strip into your program. Someone just says something that makes no sense whatsoever and keeps the mind going in a loop. And that causes the program to crash. So when people say things that make no sense and are just sort of a little loop purposely put in there, don't try to figure it out too much, because it's really not to make any sense. Okay, so just understand people do that. Like they say things like, it's not who you're with, it's who you end up with. That's just a Mobius strip meant to make your brain short circuit. So don't worry about it. Let it go in one ear, out the other. Although, as you know, in courts of law, whenever someone says, oh, disregard, I'm wanting the judge to instruct the jury to disregard what was just said by the plaintiff or the defendant. But you know very well, and everybody knows very well, that that can't be disregarded. No matter what the judge says, it's still going to be heard, and it's going to go in, and it's going to affect what everybody thinks. Therefore, be very careful of letting these things get into your right brain, because they don't make any sense to your left brain. Okay, you understand. Now, there's going to be a total solar eclipse on the 20th in Pisces and a new moon in Pisces concurrently with that. So there's a lot of energy flying around. Understand that. And if you let it get to you, then it's going to be hard for you to make the most of what could be a very effective month for you, Aquarius, if you only very precisely follow the plans you've set for yourself in March. People are going to try to throw you off your game, derail you, so to speak. Don't let them do it. Don't take the bait. Now, in money, Cambriel's money transmission for you. Those salespeople who come at you in March, Aquarius, those who play dumb, and those who are very pushy and use pushy sales tactics and play dumb are going to really put you off in March. Try to not let that get to you too much, and try not to fall for these types of antics. Again, people who come at you with all manner of not really gimmicks that are meant to be fun and entertain, but more people who for want of a better word, who haunt you because they want to maybe undermine and disrespect your intelligence, or even go as far as to insult your intelligence. This is what's really going to irk you in March. And this is where, if they annoy you enough, they can get you to lose your cool, and at that point, they can get you to lose in matters where legalities have seeped into the financial arena. So beware the Ides of March on the 15th. Beware Saturn going retrograde in Sagittarius on the 14th. Beware. All right? Heads up on that. Your health. Cambriel's health transmission for you, Aquarius. Self-judgment is going to be the psychological tactic that you have to deal with. It's the ego's tactic against the soul, self-judgment. Harsh self-judgment. They say that one should be able to take constructive criticism. However, if this ekes into your self-judgment to the point where it becomes destructive self-criticism, then it's really worthless and it's not going to help you or assist you. And, those who you feel you have tried to assist may be over-judging you feel. Just don't let it seep in there and cause you to judge yourself too harshly. And don't be too concerned about what other people think of you. Because if you let that in, this month, not a good idea to let what other people think affect you. Okay. Now how you're going to handle this is you're going to tend to get a little discouraged and maybe even a little depressed. And what you might do is go towards the exotic foods. And go towards exciting exotic foods and also towards maybe exciting types of cocktails and beverages and even some forms of smoking or using vaping, those things. Be careful of overdoing these types of things. They're going to cause you dyspepsia and or heartburn, and really too much of these kind of things could get to your lungs as well. Even if you're using safe forms of these kinds of things, and the drinking can cause a dyspepsia too if you're getting too exotic or you want too much excitement. Again, you're doing it for the purpose of stimulating the endorphins, like with maybe hot chili peppers, that kind of thing. And that works, but too much of that will throw you into a situation where you can never have anything exciting, and then you sort of throw the baby out with the bathwater. Or, you overdo, and then you have to be real good. So just don't overdo trying to overcome depression or discouragement with too much excitement. Although home remedies do work, again, even that can be overdone. So that's the caveat there. Okay. Now, for Aquarius, for your afterglow and the facets that we think should be highlighted. On the 1st, Mercury sextile Uranus. On the 2nd, Moon trine Saturn. On the 3rd, Jupiter trine Uranus. On the 4th, Venus conjunct Uranus. On the 11th, Mars conjunct Uranus. On the 16th, Mercury square Saturn. On the 17th, Uranus square Pluto. On the 25th, that's that Sun trine Saturn, and that's important. That's the day, the Sun trine Saturn, again, when your personality, your popularity, your financial success and business career success, and even your attempts at radiant health will be highlighted. Again, if you follow the things that we've touched upon here in this video. All right, Aquarius, thank you for joining us. I'm Pastor Rosemary, and join us again next month.